So it is now 6 p.m. and I'll call the Tuesday, January 27th Town Board meeting to order. First item on our agenda was to be a public hearing pertaining to a conditional or a request change to the land use map and to rezoning. However, since the item was there, we now received a letter from Wood County indicating that they are rescinding my written authorization to the town of Grand Rapids asking for the rezoning of parcel 07-01841. So my question is there a representative from Wood County here that is to speak to the issue? And if there is not, then I am using the rule to dismiss the application due to no interested parties being present. So is there any interested party from Wood County here? And hearing none, I'm dismissing the action that was proposed to be taken, which includes the 2 public hearings and items number 5, 6, and 7, correct? All right. Yes.
Just for the public knowledge, the parcel was up for bids. The person that was requesting the zoning did not put in the high bid. So there's no interest to rezone it at this point in time. And it's being dismissed instead of denied in case the person that did purchase it, which is not final until the county board meets on February 17th, would care to bring it back to the board. It's not that it's been denied, it's just that the application is being dismissed.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I have a concern because although that it was requested by that, I think the motion on the Plan Commission was that the Plan Commission thought regardless of the sale, and Patty can correct me if I'm wrong here, regardless of the sale, that they thought it was in the best interest, as long as we were doing a comprehensive plan, that the highest and best use for that land would be to change it from the high-density residential to commercial. And I believe that was your motion, and that was the Planning Commission, because afterwards they discussed it. And I know that Planning Commissions can make a recommendation to the board to change it. I don't think it was a request of anybody that they were acting on.
It was
Yes.
it was an application, a request of Jerry Geisert through, or of Wood County, with Jerry Geisert being the agent.
So what I said was wrong. What I said is not true.
I don't know what the Plan Commission did, but the application,
The Plan Commission is the one that sent this to us.
Yes, but the interested party is no longer interested, right?
Wood County is no
Not to my
longer, Wood
estimate.
County is no longer interested in rezoning it, according to Karen Kubishek, that sent the letter today.
Isn't that convenient? Isn't that very convenient?
The way you're describing it, you're making it sound like the Plan Commission could come out and rezone my property, even if I don't want it.
They can make a recommendation to the town board because they were doing a comprehensive plan at the same time. Well, I don't see why you're going to argue with me about it. I'm just telling you what the Plan Commission did. Whether they can do it or not, I don't know. But
I did make the motion, regardless of the sale going to Mr. Geisert or not, but that was based on the letter coming from Wood County indicating that they would like it to be rezoned as.
Right.
So now, being that we just received this information, then you have to write that the recommendation. However, I don't really understand that part in itself, but the Plan Commission did recommend it to be changed to commercial. pending or not the sale. But
But
we have to
we
have
can't-
someone interested in changing it in order to recognize the recommendation.
I don't believe, and I could be wrong, but I don't believe the board can just rezone a piece of property from residential to commercial without the owner's consent or
Right.
request. And Wood County is not requesting it
Any
anymore.
longer with this letter.
And I,
But they could come back and,
Wood County
They could
could
in
come
a month
back,
from now or 2 months from
or
now.
the person that is awarded the property or purchases the property after the county board's February 17th meeting
Awarding.
could come back and request a rezone of
and then
it.
we visit at that time, right? And we just bring it up and.
Which is why Attorney Wood said, don't deny it, don't act on it, because then it could be brought forward at a later date.
Okay. Understood.
Thank you.
All right. We'll move forward then. First item on the regular part of the agenda is to say the pledge of allegiance, if you join. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And to approve the agenda for the meeting, any changes, corrections?
Other than noting that you removed items
Yeah,
5, 6, and 7.
Right, correct.
Okay.
Item 3, approve minutes from the January 13th, 2015 minutes. You were emailed those. Did you get a chance to see anything? If not, a motion would be in order to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Motion Kathy,
I'll second it.
second Dan. Discussion or corrections or notes? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Any opposed? No opposed. Public comment period. Public wishing to speak to address the board will be limited to 2 minutes each, with public comment period limited to maximum 30 minutes. Anybody in the audience this evening wishes to speak to the board? Again, anybody in the audience wishing to speak to the board this evening? Hearing none, then I'll come to the public hearing portion, public comment period closed, and we'll move to item number 8. Approve water ski permit to close Lake Wazeecha on August 29th, 2015 from dawn to 3 p.m. for a world record water ski pyramid attempt. That's something they did last year, and they're wishing to proceed again this year, and the documents were presented to us and the fees are paid.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to do so.
Motion by Bill to approve, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Dan. Further discussion? I think last year they came extremely close. Said they-
Close enough.
I understand they needed just a little more power out of those experimental engines, is that correct?
Exactly.
Okay, and that's going to be tweaked, we imagine?
Oh, yes.
All right. Hearing no other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye, any opposed? Hearing none, all approved.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
welcome.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Keep in touch with Chief Peterson and make sure you got everything you need
He's
going.
our best friend all summer. So.
Okay.
Right, then, item 9, approve resolution 2015-10, approving the final plat for Hunters Ridge Subdivision, second edition. Mr. Miles here? There you are.
There you go.
Look right past it.
Yeah.
Everything appears to be in order from what I've read. Anybody have questions of him?
I'll make a motion that we approve the resolution 2015-10, Hunters Ridge Subdivision, second edition.
I'll second that motion.
Motion Dan, second by William. Any further discussion?
Fill them fast.
You can consider that a final, but you could actually have one more
Yeah.
addition to it if you get the other side figured out some way.
Correct, it's something I can discuss.
with the board or yourself or whatever.
Yeah.
Like alternatives are.
Yeah, we'll plan on getting some time to visit with you.
Appreciate
You
that.
bet. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
I have an aye, any opposed? Motion carries, no opposition.
I think we're done.
You are.
Yep,
Hey,
thank you.
good luck.
Discussion on request from Allied Cooperative toward alternate truck route into the grain facility on Commerce Drive. Greg, is it Whitty?
Yep.
Is here representing Allied, and they have an opportunity to bring 200 to 300 grain trucks into their facilities in the month of October, November. He's looking for an alternate route into the facility because of the concern on County Trunk U and 54 that they would be turning left onto traffic, and that traffic is typically pretty tough. One thing I need to ask you, Greg, where is that trucks actually coming from?
They'd be coming from southeast of town. They're gonna be coming up on U coming up. They'll
Okay.
take 73 to U and come up on U then.
Do they go past County Trunk F?
Yes.
Okay. I did a time study for you.
Okay.
I timed myself from the corner of U and Keller Road going straight to there, to 54. There was a good amount of traffic, so I was delayed, and I looked for a spot that a semi would be able to take off, knowing that I've previously worked for a trucking company. Tied myself into the park, and that came in at 8 minutes and 8 seconds. So I went back to my original route, which is there, and took Keller Road, came in and went on to 48th Street, followed the speed limits
Yep.
and the signs directly to your place, and it was 6 minutes and 37 seconds.
Okay.
So there's a minute and a half difference, is what I felt. Now, when we initially talked, you also mentioned the possibility of using the Washington.
Yep.
And I indicated to you that Washington was probably not a good enough road because it was not a lane road, it was what's called rolled blacktop tar road and has a relatively weak base below it. So is there any other way that you think you can get in there, or because that you're coming in on, if you're saying you're gonna come in on you, you've also got to pick up the speed drops that you go through Kellner, right?
Correct.
So thinking that through, and would F be a better road in for you because there's no stops then? And you still have to turn on to 80th, onto 54,
Yeah.
a left turn, but you would make up more time due to the fact that the trucks wouldn't have to be slowed down in Kellner, and the stop sign on U and W where they split,
Yeah.
and then go straight through. So I don't know, has the board members got any other ways that they think he could get into his facilities on roads that would be safe for us to be able to put him on?
Is coming in on a W and then going north on 48th all the way up to Commerce, is that a possibility or not?
That's the route I time-stamped the other way,
Okay.
which I thought was, if we were to give you a route, that would be the quickest route for you. However, that road is not built for truck standards either.
Okay.
Right.
William, you got anything?
Yeah, I would think getting your permit and authorization from the city, basically, because that's city property, that probably the permit procedure indicated, did you have a direct route to it, or would you have to use some other roads? I would suggest that, if you needed 48th Street, that you would go to the city and see if the city could authorize help paying for that road, because it does belong to the town. There's even a portion that is town road from Commerce by the railroad tracks to Highway 54. That also belongs to the town.
So the town of Wisconsin.
Correct? Well, not correct. So the only portion that 48th Street that actually belongs to the city is that, if that's in the
Would be
East
the
Commerce
west
part.
side of it. the west side of the road, the east side is Grand Rapids. However, we do allow truck traffic on that to the business part,
Okay.
knowing that it was fair enough. Patty, did you have something?
No, I just was suggesting to stay on Highway 54 as a state road and then coming in that way. You know, we're gonna end up having congestion either at this intersection, which is a 2-lane highway versus a 4-lane over there. And that park was built knowing that it would have truck traffic. So my suggestion is to just remain having coming in on Highway 54 and using 54 heading south on 48th Street to the,
Yeah, so what you're
To the
saying
industrial
is
park.
to use a county road, which either J or U, whichever one it would be as the through to get to 54.
Or F.
F.
Or
Right.
F, rather, yeah. So,
Because if you come in even on 32nd Street, let's say, that would be too far coming in. The other from this west side of 48th Street, you'd be going through school systems, you know, if they'd come in through the 54 all the way to Washington Street. Streetlights and come in there, they would have the school districts either way on 32nd Street or on Washington Street to have to, and that would not be safe at all.
No, I'm not asking for the west side of town.
Okay,
Everything is gonna be on the east side.
okay, all right.
I've got farmers that are harvesting fields 2 miles out of town on 13. And they don't wanna come up to me, they would rather take their truck and their grain to Adams, Wisconsin, than go through all of the stoplights in town.
I wouldn't
appreciate
doubt that, I wouldn't doubt that.
And I'm trying to get these guys to come here,
Bypass.
and they're like, well, I don't wanna sit on the intersection on 54. I'm gonna rather go down to ADM, I'm gonna go down to Adams. It might be 10 miles farther, but I can get in and out of their plants.
Right.
But I'm confident that they would not sit there more than a minute and a half at any time of the day. Because I
I've
mean,
had them there for 5 minutes sitting on 54 trying to get across. When the paper mill gets done, they get stuck there. There's certain times of the day where they get stuck there.
yeah, I travel that a lot. Maybe there are those rare occasions, but I think as a general rule, they would average out to be not more than a couple, 3 minutes if you want to go that far. But did they have an objection to using F? Or they hadn't thought about it?
It was just farther out of the way. They wanted to come up on 73 farther. They did have problems getting across 54. They did drop the drive shaft coming across on 54 this year on one of their trucks. So there was a little bit of a safety concern coming through there. That's why they had asked if they would be able to either come up on W and then take 48th up, or come across on Washington rather than come across
Yeah.
on 54.
I did run this by our attorney just to ask him, you know, what his thoughts are, way our ordinance are set up for weight limits and that. And he said he didn't see any reason that we could really assist you in any way on it, but I wanted to get the conversation going because, you know, quite frankly, if your plant is busy, it's good for everybody. You know, I don't want to say that we want to reject any businesses anywhere. I mean, we've known for a fact that you know, people that work in the paper mill industry don't all live in Wisconsin Rapids or Burin. You know, so, you know, we're here to support commerce as much as we can. Even with our economic development process, we're supportive of it, but I just, in my mind, can't come across a good way for you to get there other than the two opportunities that we have, County Trunk E or County Trunk F for you. So is there, Bill?
Could you give him a copy of that response?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Is it all right if I do?
All right, go give it to him, man. It's just a note from our attorney.
Okay.
So is there a motion to approve her out or deny her out? Anybody?
Make a motion to deny the request.
Motion by Bill, seconded by Arnie, to deny the application for LA Co-op to use an alternative route, being a town highway instead of the county highways to get to his plant. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Sorry, Craig, but,
Okay, so then next step for me would be to talk to the city of Rapids.
yeah, I mean, he could talk to him, but maybe Bill's got some knowledge better than I do as to, I don't think they can come to us, maybe they could, maybe they come to us and guarantee that the road won't get detoured. And if it does, yeah, you can call the mayor's office, see what he's got to say.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Discussion continue with multi-metro deer management program. Hey, you had a good year, eh?
Yeah. I didn't personally, but
Yeah, why not? You don't have enough time, huh?
I work too much.
And let me see where the notes are on it. Yeah, down here. So, Mr. Hobbs, one question for you.
Sure.
In Grand Rapids, we had one spot in the neighborhood where 7 deer were harvested. What part of the Grand Rapids was that? I'm just curious.
I'm not gonna tell you exactly where,
Oh.
but it was over by Lake Wazeecha.
Okay,
Yeah, by Lake Wazeecha. The guy, he was seeing just unbelievable amounts of deer. He saw, the one night he saw 25 deer.
yeah.
You know, we have reports where we write down everything that we see, and yeah, for whatever reason, they were there.
Well, I've noticed, and I live in that area, and I've noticed significantly less deer
Yeah.
this year than last year in my backyard chewing up my trees and shrubs. So I think the program is working. We've had pretty good response. I can tell you, cart kills in the town are pretty consistent.
Yep.
I think we had 58 to 56, the preceding and 57. So we continue to have the same amount of car deer, which are expensive
Yeah, I think
items.
we've actually, we're almost into a maintenance mode, I think, right now. Just to keep them under control, I guess, is kind of where we're at. Because although our harvest went up this year, which I was really surprised, I didn't get a whole lot of time to hunt this year, so I didn't have my finger on the pulse of what was going on. And when the numbers came in, we were up. Rapids was way up. Which I have no idea why or, what's going on. You guys were down a little bit, but Rapids was way up, yeah. We have everybody, every time they harvest a deer, they put it on the map.
Yeah.
And everything is so interspersed, I think they were, I don't know if they're just over the line or whatever, but like I say, Rapids they were way up.
Anybody else have any questions about the metro hunting?
I do.
Go ahead.
And then what did you do with all the meat?
The hunters they're only allowed to keep one deer, and the rest of them we have to donate to area families or food pantries, yeah. So we've donated, I think I gave you the report, I don't have it, but off the top of my head, it's 26,000 pounds of meat since the program started, and at a quarter pound per meal, we're well over 100,000 meals since the program started. So.
Yeah, and I have kudos to the city for giving you a place to park a cooler and to keep your meat there, so my thanks to them.
That really helps a lot.
So the program for next year, you're looking for,
Well, out of this year's budget, we have to pay for last year's hunt.
okay,
So we have the total of 22, so it'll be 440,
okay,
and we did budget the 500.
okay.
And then you'll be getting some money back from the grant. Now the grant though this year, they had a new person handle the grant down Madison, and we did not get approved for this coming year for the grant. What they did is they waited. They only have so much money per year, and the new person, and I don't know if it was a screw up or an oversight, but they ended up giving the monies to new programs. Well, then when I talked to Wayne Hall, who's the wildlife biologist, he was kind of upset. And he said, listen, you guys have been doing really good work. We're the cheapest program in the state of Wisconsin. Your average cost is about $200 a deer. And I mean, we're way below that. And so he kind of explained to the new grant manager, you know, what's going on. And so he said, well, apply again for next year. So that's what we'll do.
Good. Any other questions, or anybody in the public have questions about what we're doing? Trying to save some vendors. And some petunias.
Are you looking for a motion to continue the Metro? Yeah. Okay, I'll make a motion to continue the multi-Metro deer management program.
I'll second it.
Motion Patty, second Dan. Discussion. Bill, did you have one more thing you asked?
So if you don't get the grant, the municipalities that you cover can actually give money to your organization? Or can you only do it through a DNR grant?
No, what we do is we actually, and this is the way it was set up, is we request reimbursement for our expenses. And our
To
expenses.
the DNR?
Well, to each town. Then what we've done in the past is, what I did is we applied for a grant, and then the grant covered half of the cost of the urban deer. In Grand Rapids, because they use the DOT urban deer map, only certain deer are reimbursed at the 50% rate that are inside of the, you know, and if you look at your map, it looks like a, you know, like teeth. So only those deer are reimbursed at the 50% rate. Beerin is also under the same thing. So if we harvest a deer here and it's on the urban map, 50% of it is paid by the DNR through the grant. If you harvest a deer here, then nothing is, you know, then there is no grant monies. So that's.
So I think what I read from within your notes, you have sufficient funds to operate on this year, is that correct?
Yeah, we still ask if you guys can contribute, you know, as in the past. But yeah, we're fine, so.
Did I cut you off, Bill? Did you have something else?
It's kind of odd, but that's the way that.
Yeah, if I have a subdivision or the subdivision, whatever they call the organization,
Homeowners?
homeowners and organization says, I would like you to come over in Brookhaven and we'll pay you for it. You do that in bigger municipalities?
We can't get paid.
If they pay you,
We can get reimbursed for expenses, we cannot get paid. If we get paid, then we have to, right now, we're basically under the town's insurance, but if we get paid, then we're professional rather than volunteer. Then we have to, there's a whole lot more requirements that we have to take care of. So by getting a reimbursement for the amount of deer harvested, we don't have to deal with any of that stuff.
okay, thank you.
So it's not
I think you had real good help from Mr. Wayne Hall to get this thing
Yep.
up and running.
Oh, yeah.
Seems like he's been a good friend of the towns for quite a while.
and he's done a really good job.
Yeah.
You know, as I say, he was pretty upset with the grant people, so.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, the motion was to support the program again next year. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye, any opposed? No opposed. All right, you're good to go.
All right, thank you, folks. You guys have a good night.
You too.
I'm going home to bed.
Item 12 would be approval of resolution 2015-03, approving changes to ordinance 13, prohibiting certain activities made crimes under Wisconsin statutes, to adopt all of chapter 125, to be able to cover citations for social hosting. This came out of legislative, and these are the changes that it needs to make so that we could add the social hosting piece to it by using chapter 125. And then if somebody's hosting a party, which is illegal, the first initial fine could be would start at $10 per person and then multiply up. Is that the long and short of it, Chief?
Right.
Anything else to add to it?
No, I think this is an easy solution instead of creating a whole new social hosting ordinance. And when basically an existing ordinance that they have with slight modifications will do the same thing. So,
Okay, is there a motion to support or not support Resolution 2015-03?
I'll make a motion that we support Resolution 2015-3.
03.
03.
And is there a second? Second Kathy. Motion Ned, second Kathy. Further discussions? Bill?
Yes, I'm speaking in favor of the motion, of course, but I want to understand more. So we had people come here and ask about the social hosting, and we agreed to it, and then we had our attorney look at it. So when I look at the resolution, it says items B through F will be deleted. So these items will be deleted,
Yeah, and that's
or
what,
these items will be deleted?
On the resolution, this is your new.
This is new, so these won't be deleted, these will be added, right?
only this
These-
second one on the bottom there, which is item to be added. That one is added. These were in the previous ordinance and they are removed. Your copy that you see behind you has those already removed.
And the new B where it says,
Ordinance 13 is what it would look like with the change that we are about to make.
Okay, so you can come to a party and it's being so, you can get them for also underage tobacco use, all those things, is that what that means? Is that what was added to it? Because that's what's in 125?
I haven't seen the final draft there.
Okay, it's no big deal, I just want to understand more of this.
Yes.
But
Maybe I'll ask.
underage tobacco is covered, and yes.
Underage drinking and the providing of underage beverages.
Prior to this change, we had these 5 items listed individually, 125.074A and 4B. And what we're doing is we're removing those individual line items and replacing it with the entire 125 chapter, which covers those items plus numerous other things.
Right.
Which you would be able to enforce anyways, because they're a state law,
Right.
correct?
Right, those are state statutes, but then if we made an arrest on a state statute, then it goes to Wood County Court, which,
Okay,
when we have our own municipal court, why
Why
go to
do
circuit
that?
court?
Okay. Understood.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I have an aye, any opposed? No opposed. Page 2. And this would be the second part of it, approve the resolution 2015-04, approving changes to ordinance 39's fees and chapters to increase the range of citations to cover adoption, chapter 125 in entirety. And basically what that does is take it up to a $10 minimum up to a $1,000 per person fine. And that's, our previous ordinance had it rated to, I believe, 250,
500.
500. So this matches what the social housing ordinances that are being used around the state. That's the level of support that they have on those.
So this fee is $10 per person, or it could be $1,000 per.
Depending on the number of violations.
Violation.
See, the first violation is $10 per person, and if it happens again, then the fees start going up, and if it happens a third time, the fees go up.
Okay.
So it could
And
be,
It also
not-
depends on
yeah.
which one of these numbers was which one of these was the violation.
A person that would be cited for social hosting of a underage party, more than likely, the fine is not gonna start at 10. But
No.
there's something in chapter 125.
That's right, you did
that the
mention
fine could start at 10.
Right, that's right.
Basically, it puts our ordinance in the what the fine amounts that are spelled out in 125. It brings our ordinance into compliance, well, shouldn't say compliance, but within the limits specified in chapter 125 for the Wisconsin statutes.
Okay.
okay, motion?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2015-04, ordinance number 39, regulating schedule of fees and court.
Seconded by Arnie. I got my in once in a while.
Yeah.
I have to get my name in the paper once in a while. Any further discussion?
Just have a social hosting, you'll get.
Yeah, I'll get it there. There you go, Bill. I think I'll abstain. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I have an aye. Any opposed? No opposed. Motion carries unanimous. Thank you. Item 14, approve Joe Linneman attending TIPPS User Group Seminar, March 11th in Madison. And Mel, what do they learn how to do?
She gets updates and just any additional changes or whatever that's for her municipal court program that she uses quite often. So it's just their annual conference where they get all the updates and law changes if there's any. So it's just a good informational type of seminar.
Okay, sounds good.
I'll make a motion that we approve conference for Jewel in the amount of $184.10.
Motion to add, second.
Second.
Patty, further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Have an aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
You got 16 minutes.
All right, item 15 is public input. Anybody wishing to address the board for one final time, limited to 2 minutes each. Public comment period limited to a total of 16 minutes. Anybody else wish to speak to the board? Anybody else wish to speak to the board? Hearing none, we'll move to item number 16, which is the famous one. Establish next agenda. Any items that you want on there? If not, you can get to me later or Judy. And item 17, motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion Patty, second Kathy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you very much.